In this video, we are going to share with you how to find the best property investment deals.
In our opinion, this is the #1 most important skill that you need to develop if you want to be a successful property investor.
I'm AK.
I'm Leah.
And if you are new here, welcome to our channel where we talk about property, business, and working together as a couple. One thing that we have learned since we started are that successful people are decisive. They all share a similar trait, which is that when they see a good deal, they move very quickly. When we first started out, we really wanted to be in their shoes. And obviously that comes with confidence, which grows over time. And the only way is to try it, fail, learn, and go again.
Before we get into it, we're going to be focusing on the 3 key pillars of finding a great deal. So #1, the ability to add value. 2, buying for demand. And 3, the numbers.
What I love about property investing is that there are so many different ways to do it. For the purpose of this video, we're going to be focusing on buy-to-let, small HMOs, and flips, as they are the most common strategies when first starting out.
So #1, adding value to a property. We're going to go through some of the ways that you can add value to a property. Just for example, fitting a new kitchen, changing the layout to increase the number of bedrooms or space, making it more energy efficient, so improving the EPC rating, landscaping the garden or just improving the garden, and improving that curbside appeal to make it look more inviting from the outside. Change of use is also another way, so planning gains, splitting titles into more than one property, and the list goes on. There's so many ways you can add value.
Now, ideally, the value you add to the property should be more than the money you have to spend on it. For example, you don't want to be spending more than £10,000 on a new garden, for example, if it's only going to add £5,000 to the value of the house.
And when it comes to flipping a property, you definitely don't want to be spending more on purchasing and refurbishing the property than what the maximum value is of that property when you sell it, because otherwise you'll be just making no profit. It will actually cost you to flip the property.
You'll be a fantastic charity, basically.
Basically.
However, when renting out a property long term, there can be a little bit more flexibility because you have the added benefit of refinancing it to pull out some or all of the money that you have put into the deal. Refinancing is essentially getting a new loan on the property via a new mortgage. When you refinance to get some of the money back out, you can then use that money to invest into another property, for example, or alternatively, if you have borrowed money in the first place, then you may want to pay that back.
Before we move on to the next point, which is buying for rental demand, if you are enjoying this video and you have not already subscribed, then make sure you hit the subscribe button so that you don't miss out on future content like this. Also, give us a like whilst you're there, it really helps us out. Now, before we get into the numbers, let's look at buying for demand. So people say all the time, buy for rental demand, and it seems like common sense. But when we first started out in property, we didn't really understand just how important buying for demand is.
So here are some ways that you can ensure you are buying for rental demand. The first one is checking property portals. If you go to Rightmove and search your area, click on the list view to see all the properties for rent within your criteria. Then click on the list view. Take note of the number of properties and then click on filters. Here you want to include let agreed. Then you'll see how many properties are left. If you are seeing 50 properties in that listing and then only 2 of those have been let out, then maybe there's a little bit too much supply. Likewise, if you are seeing 50 listings and 30, 40 or even 50 of those are let agreed upon, then you can be a little bit more confident that it's a more high demand area.
Next up, speak with lettings agents. So when we first started, we spent some time talking to local letting agents, either face to face or on the phone, and we wanted to understand what properties they were looking for. Often we used to ask them, if we were to bring you a property today, what would rent really quickly? And what would that property look like? How many bedrooms would it be? Is it terrace, is it semi-detached? And then we would just let them tell us exactly what people are looking for and what would fly off the shelves. We use that to guide us in our investment areas to what to go shopping for. And when I say shopping, I mean what to go looking for.
Yeah, not handbags and...
Yeah, property shopping today, not bags.
Okay, and the third thing is a dummy ad. So in order to further clarify your findings, in addition to the first 2 points that we've just spoken about, feel free to launch a dummy ad online and start gathering some of that data as to the volume that you may receive in terms of interest.
Finally, the numbers. If you're looking to purchase a property to rent out long term, it goes without saying that you will want a positive cash flow each month. Now, positive cash flow refers to the profit left over each month after you take out all of the expenses. Positive cash flow essentially means that you are making more than what it costs you each month. To keep this very simple, the rent you receive needs to be higher than your expenses.
For example, if your mortgage is £600 a month and your management fees on the property are 10% of the rent each month, in this case on the screen you'll see £75, then the rent will need to be higher than £675 a month to cash flow positively. In the example that you can see on the screen now, I have the rent at £750 per month and it cash flows positively at £75 per month. Not a deal worth doing in our opinion, but this is just to give you an example on the high level numbers.
If you're looking at HMOs, then you've got to be sure to factor in bills, utility costs, maintenance, which is usually higher, insurance, tax, and void periods. So let's talk about tax for a moment. Whenever we talk about positive cash flow, we always get people ask about tax implications. And the tax that you'll pay will always depend on your specific financial circumstances. So for example, you might be buying houses in your personal name, or you might be already a higher rate taxpayer, which will affect how much tax you pay as well. You might be buying houses in a limited company like we are. You may or may not be pulling out dividends into your personal name. So all of these things will affect your tax bill at the end of the year. So it's really hard to speak for everybody because we're all in different situations. We can't tell you watching right now how much tax you're going to pay if you buy an investment property.
Yeah, and it's something that we had to obviously learn getting involved in property, but it took a while to really understand it all. And also we needed to actually start making money before we really needed to understand that and discuss it as well. Something that I learned a lot about, Leah taught me a lot about this as well, because I came from a normal job, which meant that my tax was taken at source, whereas Leah had her own businesses and was
self-employed, business owner.
A lot better at that sort of stuff. So for the purpose of this video, we are explaining the basic principles of finding a deal. The reason we're doing this is so that you can quickly assess if a property will make a positive cash flow before wasting any time pursuing it.
And if you're finding this video useful and you're serious in kickstarting your property business and would like help with that, then click on the link below in the description that says work with us. And AK will get back to you personally.
And I will get back to you personally. So let's get back to the numbers. In addition to working out the monthly cash flow, we talk a lot in our videos about ROI, or return on investment. The reason we talk about this is so that we can compare a property with another property and essentially work out which one gives us the best return. Because ultimately, with any funds that we've got, we want to make sure that we are as efficient as possible so that the money can go as far as it can.
Like they say, your money should be working harder for you.
Should be working hard for you.
How do you work out ROI? So return on investment equals monthly cash flow times 12 to give you your annual cash flow, divided by money left in the deal, also known as the amount you have invested, times by 100 to get the percentage. So in this case, £75 times by 12, £900 a year, divided by 20,000 money invested, times by 100 is 4.5% ROI. And then as you can see here, this number, 22.22, this is the years left that it would take for this deal to wash its face. So what that means is it would take 22.22 years to get all of your 20,000 back that you've put into the deal, which is quite a long time.
It is quite a long time. And I think just to clarify as well, on my spreadsheet, I think it's rounded it to 5% as a return on investment there. So to summarize the key points of how to find the best investment property deals, let's go over them quickly.
Number 1, look to see how you can add value to the property.
Number 2, check the rental demand.
And number 3, ensure that you check your numbers properly.
Now we hope you found this video useful. If you did, please remember to hit that subscribe button, give us a little like as well, a little thumbs up, and we will see you in the next one.
See you next week.
Bye.
Bye.